Global Times, 21st of August 2022, China warns Berlin that it will lose if it joins an anti-China alliance. The German Air Force is taking part in Exercise Pitch Black for the first time. This worries some Chinese media outlets and some of the most prominent German news outlets. China has warned Berlin that it is joining an anti-China group in the Indo-Pacific, which will hurt its trade with Beijing in the long run. Chinese experts are desperate because the world is turning against China. They see reasonable voices like these as a reflection of how most business and political leaders in Germany feel about China. But while Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz carefully strikes a balance between major powers, the growing military presence of Germany in the Indo-Pacific showed the differences within the German government and sent a chaotic signal about its China policy, some experts said. Exercise Pitch Black, a military drill with the US, Australia, and 15 other countries, is said to have started on Friday. The US wants more countries to stand up to Chinese bullying and show the unity of the West by getting more countries to join the drill. According to a recent article in the German daily Die Welt, the German Air Force, Luftwaffe, wants to show China in the Indo-Pacific that it is vital. This is an excellent thing to do, but Germany is not America, and a tumbling should not think himself a giant. Another German media outlet, the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, said in a recent article that the Luftwaffe's excursion to the Indo-Pacific signals Germany's readiness for military engagement in probably the most critical region of the world, geopolitically. Still, the newspaper also warned that Germany is too weak militarily and needs to rearm quickly against the Russian and Chinese threats. Ingo Gerhardt, the head of the German Air Force, was quoted in the news as saying that the jets would barely touch the South China Sea and would not go through the Taiwan Straits. As the US sees the increase in bullying and aggression from China as the most significant threat, people in Europe are saying the same thing. Zhang noted that Annalena Baerbock, Germany's foreign minister, also called China a threat. China's strategy in Europe is called divide and rule. Zhang pointed out that Berlin's China policy will be very different from that of Washington because Germany knows it is essential for Germany's strategic and economic interests to keep China as a strategic partner. The German economy became more dependent on China in the first half of 2022 when direct investment and the trade deficit hit new highs. This happened despite political pressure on Berlin to move away from Beijing, according to a study from the German Economic Institute that Reuters reported on Friday. Still, the German Air Force tried to downplay the link between the military exercise and the US plan to keep China in check in the region. Gerhardt said, "I don't think we are sending any threatening message to China by flying to an exercise in Australia." Since the end of Merkel's time in office, there have been disagreements between the German military and the government, which signal chaos. Qui said that if Germany emphasizes its presence in the Indo-Pacific region from now on, it could throw the country out of whack. In December 2021, the German Navy frigate Bayern crossed the South China Sea. This was a big deal in the West because it was the first time a German warship had been in the South China Sea in 20 years. In light of the Ukraine crisis, when Germany changes its policy toward China, it has to think about more things, like how China and Russia get along, how the EU and Russia get along, and how China gets along with its neighbors. Qui said that before, it only looked at how China and the US got along. Reports from the past say that Germany is rethinking its strategy toward China and will announce its new stance sometime in 2023. Some experts also think future trade and economic ties with China won't be as strong as those already in place. To find a new balance in a changing geopolitical landscape, Germany-China relations will focus on some security concerns. As Chinese bullying and aggression have reached new heights,